What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of SMITE Meta Casual News. In today's episode, it's patch day. So we got new gods, we got new skins, we have thoughts on the patch and all the changes, we have spoils, all that and a little bit more. Once again, my name is FG3000, you're you, and here comes the news. First up in news, let's talk about all these juicy spoils, and the juiciest of all spoils is Mr. Quetzalcoatl and Ao Kuang. Now, we have reason to believe that Ao Kuang will be removed from the game and replaced with Quetzalcoatl. That's the best I can say his name. If I'm saying it wrong or I'm butchering it, I'm sorry. That's the best I could come up with. But we have reason to believe that Ao Kuang will be replaced with Quetzalcoatl. He will be a noodle, and he will have pretty much the same exact move list, skill abilities as Ao Kuang currently does. Ao Kuang will be removed from the game and probably patched into the game at a later date with all new abilities, all new model, and this is because Tencent doesn't feel that the current model of Ao Kuang represents Ao Kuang as great as he needs to be. The current Ao Kuang could be confused with any of the great dragons, and Tencent wants Ao Kuang to be represented as the majestic beast that he is, and I don't blame him. So we'll still have a noodle in Quetzalcoatl, but the current Ao Kuang will probably be removed from the game, and he will be replaced at a later date, exactly how Hun Bots and Sun Wukong were. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. That's it for Mr. Ao Kuang. Now the next spoil has to do with the Conquest map, and I for one am super excited. Hi-Rez has spoiled that they will be updating the artwork for the Conquest map, not to be confused with any type of redesign or remodel of the map. This is simply going to be updated artwork, so there's still going to be 3 lanes, you're still going to have the mid-camp, etc, 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 but the artwork will be updated, and I am super excited. I really hope they take this opportunity to update the color palette. It really feels washed out to me. I don't know if I'm the only person that feels that way, but I really hope that they take this opportunity to make the map feel alive and vibrant. That's my hope. That's a spoil for Conquest. We don't really know too much. We don't really have a timeline. But if you want me to speculate on a timeline, picture this for a second. So Siege is complete. Hi-Rez is going through a few of their older models and updating those. And we're going to soon see a brand new Conquest map. And around that same time, we'll probably see the cinematic, the SMITE cinematic complete at the same time. So if I were a betting man, I'm thinking that Hi-Rez is gearing up to remodel all their gods, have Siege completely polished, have a new Conquest map, and release their new SMITE cinematic and do what I like to call a relaunch of SMITE. Let everybody know, hey, SMITE is here, this is our new cinematic, this is our new map, this is our new Siege, etc, etc, etc. So that's my speculation. That doesn't really give you a timeline, but it kind of gives you a frame of reference. This is what I feel that Hi-Rez is kind of pushing towards, kind of a relaunch of SMITE, and this is completely normal for games. A lot of games, MMOs especially, even MOBAs for the most part, when they open up with new features or new really dramatic changes, they call that a relaunch. They contact IGN and GameSpot and all these companies to basically recover their game to allow the game to go back into the media, for example, or go back into the news. So that is my speculation of what we're going to see as far as all that's concerned. And the final spoil that we have no information about, but Hi-Rez has told us that they're going to be working on a PvE SMITE mobile game. That is all we have, and all we have is wonder from this point on, and that's gonna do it for the spoils. All right, so let's start talking about this patch. The skins go first. Now, Bastet has returned to the game. She is no longer the Night Prowler. She is now Covert Ops Bastet. Pretty much the same skill effects, but she does have a little assault rifle animation on her number 2. The voice pack is very well done, and she's also included in a bundle with Apollo as well as a helicopter ward skin. So all around a pretty good deal on Bastet. I know a lot of people are kind of looking at the skin and comparing it to Apollo. Apollo is fantastic, but Bastet is pretty good in her own right. So get Bastet or just get the bundle. It's a fantastic deal. Now let's talk about that Apollo that I just mentioned. Elite Agent Apollo is here, and my friends, one word: fantastic. Now, the skin in its own right is really good, but let me call your attention to the voice work on this skin. It is phenomenal. Just thinking outside of the box, right? Hi-Rez could have easily just gave Apollo his own little voice pack, but they went a step above that, right? They have a voice pack, and they also have this female person called Control, which is basically the person like giving the orders to Apollo when he's out in the field. And the dialogue that they have back and forth, and the quips and the jokes, it is so well done. I would buy just the voice pack on its own is worth the money, and you get the skin, and you have an incredible ultimate where he's dangling on the bottom of a helicopter. He's coming down, bringing the pain. It is really, really good. The only negative I'll say about this voice pack is that some of the abilities feel a little quiet, and I know he's supposed to be an elite agent, and he's supposed to be stealthy, and he's using silencers, etc, etc, etc. But some of the abilities they just seem a little too quiet for my taste. That's my only negative, but I do understand that is the design that was intended for him to be stealthy and quiet. So all around, Elite Agent Apollo is worth the wait. I know Apollo skins have been a sore mark for a lot of people, but we finally got it. It is great. It's better than I thought it would be. Go out there and buy it. Get the bundle, worth the money. Well, now this is unexpected. So Swagny Agni has finally made it into Smite, and yeah, this skin is absolutely bonkers. Like, every part about this skin is just over the top. He's throwing money, he's making it rain, he has all these amazing little lines in his voice pack. It's a really, really good skin. You know if you're gonna buy the skin or not. You can take one look at it and you're gonna buy it or you're not gonna buy it. So I don't really have to say anything. I will say one thing about this skin that it had to be there, but it's not my favorite. So I understand that, he has this pimp coat and I like it. He has to have a pimp coat. He's a pimp, he has to have a pimp coat. I get that. But the bad thing about the pimp coat is that you can't really see Swagny's legs when he's doing his trademark swagginess. So that part is a little disappointing, but I really can't be disappointed because I don't know how the skin would look without that. So all in all, it's a fantastic skin. If this is your type of skin, you've already bought it. You don't have to listen to OFG. So that's it for skins. Let's talk about the patch. Now, if those skins were the only part of the patch, it still would have been an incredible patch, but my friends, we have more. Serqet, the brand new assassin of Smite, is here, and she is great. You can add her to the list of too cool to look at explosion type gods. These are the type of gods that do their, they do damage to you and they can walk away and you will die trying to walk back to your tower. Serqet is one of those gods. She does a ton of damage with damage over time. She's very agile with two really high mobile abilities. I've covered her pretty much in detail. I do need to get some playtime with her, so do expect some conquest games with her in the future. But I want to talk about one thing with the Serqet and a little bit of controversy that came along with Serqet. Now, Hi-Rez came out and said that they were working on a model with Serqet where she had a more organic tail, like a more realistic scorpion tail. And Tencent said, you know what? That's gross. We don't want her to have like a real tail. Ugh. So Hi-Rez went and changed it to the tail that you see today, which people say it looks mechanical. I really don't agree, but that's what it is. So the controversy was, hey, this other company, Tencent, has the ability to tell Hi-Rez what they like in the game and what they don't, infringing on Hi-Rez's creative freedom. Now, Hi-Rez recently came out and said, no, that's not the case. We bounce ideas off of Tencent and get their feedback and reiterate what we're already doing. So it's more of a kind of like, hey, this is what we designed, what do you think? The same way they would do community feedback, or the same thing they would do if they went into the office and asked Hi-Rez Chris or Hi-Rez Bart or Hi-Rez Kelly, hey, what do you think about this? And they reiterate their process. So in my opinion, this is not a bad thing. Now, if you've ever been in school, if you've ever been in college and you write a paper, you write that paper by yourself, you spend 10 hours on it, you think it's the greatest paper of all time, but then you give it to a proofreader and they say, this is bad, your grammar sucks here, put a comma there, etc, etc, etc. It's the same thing when it comes to creating gods. It's better that we have more eyes on these things. So please don't take it as a negative thing. Hi-Rez mentioned that they have the final call on any god decision. So at the end of the day, if Hi-Rez didn't like Tencent's ideas, they could have just completely vetoed it and went a different direction. I think the only time that is not the case is if, Hi-Rez created a god with a ton of skulls on it. And you know, in China, skulls are very, very sacred to them. So that kind of stuff I understand. But when it comes to general god design, this is my advice. It's not worth losing sleep over. Trust me, because that same exact suggestion could have came within Hi-Res, right? We just don't know. We're not inside the building. We don't know. We don't even know if the original Serqet was a better design than the one we have now. What if the original one with the organic tail was actually worse? Maybe it really was terrible. We really don't know, and it's really not worth losing sleep over. Just be happy that we have multiple people trying to make Smite the best game it could be. That's enough about Serqet. Let's actually talk about the patch though. Next topic. Alright, so let's deep dive into the patch. Keep in mind, this is SMITE Meta Casual news, so we're not going to go into every single change that occurred in this patch, but we will talk about a few highlights. The first such highlight is Phoenixes now have timers just like the jungle camps of the game. So now you know when your Phoenix is going to respawn so you can defend accordingly. I love this change, glad it's in the game. The next big change is Bumba's Mass. This is a huge change. So it no longer provides health, but now it gives you flat MP5 no matter where you are. The old Bumba's Mass, you had to be in the jungle to get that MP5. Now you can be in lane, you could be at the grocery store, you can be talking to the fire giant. No matter where you are, you're going to be getting MP5. Fantastic change. And if that wasn't enough, now Bumba's Mass now gives you plus 10 true damage on your basic attacks. So think of like a god like Nemesis. She only really has one ability to use on a jungle creep camp. Yeah, she can use her dash in and dash out, but really her only ability that she can really use on the jungle camp is her slice and dice. She relies heavily on her auto attacks. Now she has a plus 10 true damage on those basic attacks. That is a flat buff to all gods of the game that have to rely on tons of auto attacks to get these creeps down. Now the second change is this: you now get plus 10% damage on your abilities when you fight jungle creeps as well. Once again, these are great changes. And the reason why they're in the game is because of the potion of magical might and the potion of physical might now costs 450 gold. So if you're familiar with junglers, you had enough gold to buy Bumba's Mass, Hog 1, and a pot that used all your gold and you were ready to go. Now it costs 450, you can't buy that pot anymore with that start. So you can buy Bumba's Mass, you can buy Hog 1, you can do boots and pots, or you can do pots, or you can do wards, whatever you want to do. I'm pretty sure we'll have a set meta when it comes to that soon, but now the doors have opened up just a little bit. And the reason why they've done this is because the amount of stress that you get when you're level 1 or level 2 and you popped your red pot and you die, that is a hard feeling. Automatically, you have put your entire team in jeopardy because you died with that red pot. You just lost 400 gold and you are effectively extremely behind. So now with this, if you die early, it's not going to be a death sentence to your team. I like that change. It's very, very good. Also, Hydra's star has dramatically gone down in gold. This is a great change. So the cost has been reduced from 1665 down to 1400. That's a difference of over 265 gold. This is a fantastic item that has just gotten better if you like to use gods that focus on doing damage in real strong bursts. Loki is a very, very good example of that. You really want to get the Hydras on Loki. Now it's cheaper. You can use it in more situations now. Very, very good item. Definitely start picking that up. Also, Frostbound Hammer. There's so many items that have changed in this patch. It's crazy. So Frostbound Hammer and Heavy Hammer have been changed a little bit. So now you get the slow effect at level 2. So your level 2 is your Heavy Hammer. You now get that 20% slow on that item. When you upgrade it to Frostbound Hammer, that now becomes 30%. So now you have a 30% slow on a weapon that is actually, it was actually pretty good. It was kind of good before, but it was very, very niche. Now it's a fantastic item. If you want to ensure that you're going to stick like glue on everybody, if you want to do your best impression of Osiris, go ahead and pick up that Frostbound Hammer. Tell OFG how it worked out for you. I guarantee it'll be great. So as far as gods are concerned in this patch, Guan Yu has had a significant buff that will not matter. So the physical protection on his 2, which is his heal, it also gives you physical protection. It has been increased by 15 points to the highest rank. It's a great buff. Maybe in Arena, it'll really be able to shine, but in Conquest, this doesn't do anything. Guan Yu is still going to be one of the lowest tier gods in the game. This is not the right place to fix him. They really need to decide, is he going to be a Guardian or a Warrior, and start adjusting him in that respect. Right now, I think he's just lost. He's in limbo. Sorry, Guan Yu, you're low tier. I'd rather use Arachne. And that's being honest. Hercules got a little nerf on his mitigate wounds. You're not going to notice it. Hercules is still going to destroy people, or he's still going to just stay alive way too long. Just enough that his team comes back and wipes your team. That's how long Hercules will stay alive. However, his ultimate no longer causes knockback, which is a fantastic change. This is going to bring Hercules down just a little bit. All in all, I'm all down. I'm completely down for it. Janus, or Yanis, whatever you want to say his name is, his ability, his number 2 has been adjusted once again, making it easier to hit minions. Even at the high, now I know a lot of people are going to kind of scoff at this, but even at the highest level of play, even at tournaments where a tournament level high-end player was by himself in a lane with a full wave of minions, he still missed archer minions, or he still missed part of the minion wave. And that it's just no need for that, right? If you have the highest level of players still missing this ability, it probably needs to be changed, because at the end of the day, most of your players are going to not be that good. So I'm okay with them lowering it a little bit. I'm okay with them dropping the damage a little bit. Let's see how Yanis looks. He's still going to be fantastic. His utility has not changed, so Yanis still legit. Old Kubakarna got hit with a nerf bat as well. They increased the cooldown in his yawn from 15 to 18 seconds, and they also reduced the radius from 25 to 20. That's going to be a pretty big change. We'll see if this puts Kubakarna where he needs to be. I really like him. I hope they don't nerf him too much, because he's one of the only Guardians that I genuinely have fun playing. Athena, Kubakarna, Bacchus, those are the only Guardians that I actually have fun playing. I don't have fun playing Geb. I don't have fun playing Sobek. Those are the guys I have fun playing with, so I hope they don't change them too much. And then the final thing is Osiris. He was nerfed and then he was bug fixed, which was basically a buff. So there will be no changes to Osiris. They decreased his slow from 50 to 40 seconds, and they decreased the duration from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. However, there was an issue where his built-in speed buff, his built-in speed steroid, wasn't working. So now he's going to have his speed steroid, which is going to make up for the fact that his slow is not as strong. So he's going to be just fine. Osiris is still top pick, top ban material. He is the man, and that's going to do it for the patch. If you want to read all the details, I have them in the comment section below. Once again, my name is FG3000. You have been you. And that, my friends, was the news. I'm sorry the servers are down, but enjoy the video. Enjoy the video. We'll see you next time.